Good afternoon and welcome to my Wednesday rambling. I've just started to add a background to my photos, my ramblings, so that it's not just my messy office that you see behind me. The scene today is the Church of St. Bridget in Kildare in Ireland, and it's a beautiful church. It's just over my ear. You can see the altar stones. They're arranged in a pattern so that the St. Bridget's cross is actually visible on each of the four sides of the altar. A very beautifully and well-designed altar piece. This weekend, we have the 24th Sunday of our ordinary season, and the Gospel this weekend is from chapter 15 of Luke's Gospel, which starts with the three parables about the lost sheep, the lost coin, and the lost son. Each of them is a powerful story. The first two have a little bit of an absurdity about them. Who in fact leaves 99 sheep and goes looking for one, when in any shape or form he could lose all 99? Or what woman would turn her house upside down to find one coin and then seemingly spend so much more than the value of the coin to celebrate finding it? There was an element of unrealistic unrealism about it, and Jesus has no qualms in telling the stories. But it's in the story of the father who comes running to find his lost son where I find the greatest sense of God's presence and God's power. There is so much which speaks about how the father in this story leaves behind all sorts of things that I suppose we might say were common sense, dignified. Here is a father whose son has rejected him, whose son has basically said, "You're dead to me." And yet, when the son returns, the father not only greets him, but he actually runs to greet him. He basically gives him no opportunity to go into his well-rehearsed statement about what he's done and why he's come back. He simply tells his stewards to get a robe for him, a cloak for him, and put a ring on his fingers and sandals on his feet. He's no longer to be treated like a servant or an outcast. He's now to be embraced. And I suspect that the saddest thing for the father is the fact that now his older son struggles to accept the young man back. What do we do when we are placed in a situation of needing to forgive, when in fact it's hard work? I suspect that many of us, like the older son, hold some kind of grievance, some kind of anger within us. And yet God's love is inviting us to let that go, to be as extravagant in our love as the Father is, to be extravagant in our rejoicing about the one sheep or about the one coin, just to be overboard in what it means to really respond generously to God's love for us by the way we treat one another. It's a fair challenge. It's not easy. It's not something that any of us can really do without struggling. So today I'd invite you just simply to accept what God is inviting you to be part of, to know that he really does love you and care for you. And if you'd like to hear the rest of the story about what it will cost when we accept the kingdom, join me for my homily on the weekend, or if you can't, then simply come back next week for my next version of my Wednesday ramblings. Have a great day and God bless.